beautiful, beautiful performance. It was really wonderful to hear you all today. How long have you been at Union, Mr. Brown?
This is my 4th year.
Oh!
I was other
You look
places.
much older than. He started teaching at 24, and now he's 28 and retiring. This is great. And who's the senior? Fantastic. Any freshmen in this group? Awesome. Sophomores and juniors. Okay, fantastic. Great. Tell me, so the Whitaker and the Hagenberg that you just sang, will you do those again at all on a spring concert back home, or have you already kind of performed those? No. Okay. And then what's coming up? What are you working on?
Ballad of the Moon.
Oh, yeah.
Should we do something that's coming up? Yeah, let's work on something that you're going to perform for state or wherever. Yeah? Does that sound good?
Do we know what the lot? What is it?
Or, yeah, is that okay? I mean, we can work on the other stuff, but you sound amazing on it, and I can nitpick about little things, but you're also, if you're not, I'd love to work on something that you're going to perform again. Yeah?
Okay, sure.
What's our other song besides Ballad of the Moon that we're doing at state?
Yeah, what is
The Animal Crackers.
at the state?
What song of Animal Crackers?
I think we're good.
Yeah.
You need such a short to just go onto the moon.
It's kind of long. Yeah.
It's really excellent.
Is the Ballad to the Moon, is it memorized mostly?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. Ish.
Definitely.
That's okay.
Everything got you, bro.
I'm here. Our goal between now and 4:30 is to make some, for me to make some suggestions, you guys to make some changes, maybe get a little bit better, ideally. And this is low stress, right? This is not like you're performing and I'm adjudicating you, right? This is just a chance for you to sing through it and get some feedback, right? Before you do it again for a panel. Is your state festival sort of like Oregon's too, where it's like you had to get superior ratings at the district level and then you sing in state and you get adjudicated again, right?
No.
Oh no,
Well,
it's
you go up there, you sing, you leave. It's just a competition.
Got it.
They do write comments, but you get scored. So at 22 regions, a first place winner from each region is competing against each other.
Got it.
3 judges.
And there's nobody comes up on stage and clinics you,
Correct.
but they give you a score.
Yes.
Got it. Okay, cool. Yeah, if you guys are comfortable with it, let's do the yeah, that'd be great.
You say ballad or ballad?
I say ballad, but I have no idea. He adds the E to be fancy, but it could be ballad. I have no idea. We can text him and ask him.
Amanda Quist. Amanda Quist. She was here.
Yes, she was here.
Charlene.
Yep.
Elaine.
Elena Sharapova. Yep.
Amanda Quist.
Yep. You got it.
And then you came in after.
I did. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
We were talking about.
Yeah.
We're swimming.
Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful job. So musical. Take a breath and let it out. I'm sorry we're not in the big choir room or in this on the stage, but this is like primo time for classes and stuff. So the big choir room is in a rehearsal, and then the stage is being used as well because it's concert season, so everybody's jumping in. What do you love about this piece the most? A couple quick things, yeah.
I feel like it has a great message in the position that we're at.
Uh-huh.
And so I think a lot of us can easily put emotion to it.
Yeah.
You know that putting emotion into songs is so just as important as getting like the notes right and the dynamics right.
Yeah.
It's so important because it's our last word.
Yeah. Beautiful. One more?
Okay.
Yeah.
I really love how stretchy this song is.
Yes.
And how like the dynamics are very like constantly moving, but it's not like stepping stones. Like there's like, I feel like the journey is bigger than the destination. If that makes sense.
That's beautiful. Beautifully said. So you are an absolutely superior choir, right? Like if this were a festival where like it wasn't rank order, but it was like you know like you get ones at festival, like that's not the it. And whatever, like when I adjudicate, like the highest score I give is a 99. I will never give 100 because there's no such thing as a perfect performance, right? And so there's always something that we can kind of improve upon. If there was one thing, if you forget everything else I say for the next 45 minutes, if there was one thing I'd like to add, can you take as much care with micro level phrasing as you do with macro level phrasing? Have you ever thought about it in terms of micro versus macro phrasing? Most choirs don't. I don't know I don't know if I usually don't make anything up. I usually steal everything from other conductors. I can't figure out if I made this up or not. But we know what macro phrasing looks like, right? In general, most phrases do this. Would you agree? I call it the choir gang sign. Gang signs, right? Because almost every phrase we do has a high point and then decays back down. But what determines micro level phrasing? So within big picture, I see on your itinerary, or is that the other group? Did you already, or are you going to Santa Cruz?
We are not.
The beach?
Tomorrow.
Yeah. So the drive to Santa Cruz from here would be hecka easy. If we could just go like this and drive up over the Santa Cruz mountain and back down. And it would be like 20 minutes. But the drive from here is about 40 minutes. Why? Because you all probably know what mountain driving looks like. Right? And so within macro level phrasing, we have little baby, small, mini phrases that we can create. How do we decide that? I'll give you a hint. It's what we get that instrumental people don't. Words. It's related to text stress. So can I pick a spot really fast? Can everybody sing with me? How about one of the very first things we sing? Could I have just an E major chord? Everybody say with me, on moonlit night I wander free, and say, on moonlit night I wander free. Good. Now if you were Siri or Alexa, how would you say that? One more time, and on moonlit night I wander free. He and I would like to still have a job where we get to conduct human beings instead of Alexas and Siris. Apologies if anybody's name is actually Siri or Alexa in this room. But I wonder, I'm exaggerating, you're not doing it like this, but it sounds occasionally to me like we're singing, on moonlit night I wander free, as opposed to, on moonlit night I wander free. I think that within your crescendo and your decrescendo big picture stuff, you have more nuance that you can give. Not I think, I know, because you're fabulous. So I wonder now, can you think through the first page, the words that you sing? There's the first phrase, on moonlit night I wander free, and then on moonlit night I wander free, my mind to roam on thoughts of thee. On thoughts of thee. Not on thoughts of thee. right? Can you be the most hip poetry slam person ever when you're singing this? Can you start it right on it? Mr.
Yeah.
K, you wanna
Yeah. Gesture that.
Absolutely, sure. Yeah, here's, how about just shoe bars, bar 3.
Oh, sorry.
Oh, that's okay, right, whenever you're ready. Very good. Good. Now, what dynamic was that? I don't think it was forte, but it wasn't piano, right? That was your word stress was fabulous. Your micro phrasing was fabulous. Let's just pull it down, like, let's call what you just did mezzo something. Can you pull it down just one dynamic level softer? Here's one more time, 2 bars. Were thoughts and of the same volume? Be honest.
Yes.
They sound, now, maybe you individually did a really good job of it, but as a collection, as a full ensemble, most of us sang thoughts of thee instead of thoughts shush thee. Right? Think about doing that second one more time. Here's bar 9. On moonlit, And let's continue my mind. Isn't that sexier? Can we all agree? Great. Now, it gets harder. When pitches change, I think it's easier. But guess what? Altos and sopranos, you now have with midnight darkness beckoning. I love, don't get me wrong, this is not a criticism of Elder's piece. I adore this piece. But not the most interesting musical line right there. On midnight, blah, 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 blah. He did not make it interesting. You get to make it interesting. Right there, sopranos and altos. With midnight darkness. Good. And then I would adjust. Do you mind saying, you don't have to, you can phone a friend, but
Got
the
it.
last word that we just sang,
Beckoning.
say it again.
Beckoning.
Say it and good, and now say it as if you were, your little 4-year-old is about to fall asleep.
My 4-year-old? Oh. Beckoning.
Say it again.
Beckoning.
Good.
She's literally in theater.
Did in any one of those, say it sort of like demanding.
Beckoning.
Good. Did in any of those she say beckoning? Is that what he wants?
No.
No. He said the I thought he said the
Cool. So the game we're playing is, even if he said he wants something, we're going to try some new stuff, and then if he hates it, he's the boss. So if I suggest something that's the opposite of what he said, you're going to be like, cool, Dr. Benson, we're going to try it. And then he's going to say, love it or hate it, and he's right and I'm wrong, right? But part of the goal today is to just try some new stuff, right? Even if this is not what he wants, I really strongly feel that it should be a schwa, because it's the unimportant syllable. So we don't, and no one says beckoning.
That's what we say.
I'm pretty sure. He doesn't look as crazy as beckoning, right?
Oh.
So say with me, everybody, in unison, tenors and basses, will you join the party? It's going to be, is it with midnight?
Yes.
But I still hear 5 people in the room go, beckoning, and no one talks like
I thought it is with me.
Say with me, beckoning. Beckoning. Honestly, it's like, do you ever play the game?
Yes.
You just lost.
Oh,
If you think about the schwa in beckoning, you're doing too much, right? It should be a throwaway syllable. It's a syllable that we don't think about. Say with me, beckoning. 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 In midnight darkness beckoning, beckoning. It should just be like a non-event. And some of you, the 8 of you who are singing beckoning, are making it an event. It's a non-event, right? With midnight, everybody, tenor, bass, drum, and sound. With midnight's darkness beckoning. Yes, and then say with me, beckoning. Now, I am pretty convinced that there's a crescendo right after that. But I would add a decrescendo right after that. Because if we go, with midnight darkness beckoning, then ning gets the loudest note. Wrong.
Yeah.
So even though there's a crescendo, I would do this first. Because word stress trumps the big picture crescendo that's there. So listen. With midnight darkness beckoning. You still get your crescendo that he asked for. Can you try it and then I'll get your question. Ready? Everybody, tenors and basses, can you be up in the alto and soprano octave? Because you don't actually sing this, but I just want you to do it so we're practicing. And with midnight darkness beckoning. And then I don't know how loud it goes, but right. Can we agree that that was really, really fabulous? That was really musical.
Yes.
That's our goal every time. In the back.
We
You got it.
don't need
Cool.
no more.
Can we go on? Altos and sopranos only, and then tenors and basses are going to sing on the come and dream. Here we go. Ready with midnight darkness beckoning, my heart would mystic fantasy. And then altos, on your hands, in the millions. How many times, how often in your life do you get the melody, altos?
0.
Like hardly ever. So here's a moment where come and something, something, something. It's so beautiful. Your dynamic is supposed to be one level louder than everybody else. Own it. Bask in it. We all just arrived to Charlie's Chocolate Factory, and the altos, you get to have the first 20 minutes in the chocolate river by yourself.
And there's chocolate.
Come and see. I don't remember the word because they're like 6 years since I learned this. But can we start right there? Tenors and basses, I think you come in first. Tenors and basses. And then we'll get the altos and the sopranos in. Sopranos, tenors, basses. Your job is to live in Shushy Land for the first 20 minutes while they get a free swim. Here we go. 1 and tenor bass. Altos, that was so gorgeous. Say with me, beautiful.
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 Make sure full is less than you. Say with me, beautiful.
Beautiful.
Beautiful. Good, right on it. Soprano, alto have a quarter note. Tenor, bass have an eighth note. How, you, and go. How beautiful is night day upon the perfect moon. I weep with joy beneath the moon. Could you linger on the end for an entire beat?
Yeah.
So, I weep with joy beneath the moon. Don't make a huge deal out of it. We don't want right? But I think you can do more with consonants there. Can you do it one last time? That was stunning, 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 stunning. Top of 5. How beautiful this night in June. Ready? And breath. How beautiful this night in June. There are at least 4 to 6 altos, tenors, and basses who are singing "How beautiful" with too much accent on full. Most people I know who speak American English do not say beautiful. And if they do talk like that, they probably don't have friends. Right? They're putting the emphasis on the wrong syllable. right? Everybody say with me, beautiful.
Beautiful.
Again, it's not the most interesting vocal line if you are an alto. Shock of shocks, altos. How beautiful this. But you have to undo what's written. Otherwise it's how beautiful this. Same is boring. One of the many less horrific reasons why COVID was so awful. We know the horrific reasons why it was awful. One of the most mundane reasons why it was so awful was because every day was the same. We got to go nowhere. We sat in our houses, we logged onto a computer, we closed the computer, we made the same dinner again, like we just went nowhere. One of the most wonderful things about life is that we get to break routine. You got to leave your house yesterday and get on an aeroplane and do something different outside of routine. There's actual psychological research that shows that the best medicine for our mental health is to plan a trip or to plan something to look forward to. And you're supposed to do it in that depressing period right after you get back from the previous trip or the previous fun thing that you've been looking forward to. Maybe the next thing you're looking forward to is prom or state festival or graduation or whatever, right? But then guess what? Summer hits and you don't have anything to look forward to. So then it's time, like the day after graduation is a good time to be like, let's go on a road trip, right? And start planning that for 2 months out. Can you break routine? Don't ever sing it same. Oh, beautiful. Boring. Don't live in boring ever. Can you start it right there one more time? Sopranos and altos first, tenors and basses are on the 8th note. 1 and 2. God, that is so good! You guys are so stinking good.
But I think it's a little
If you're not,
I've got stuff like 2
you guys are one of the best choirs in your state. You're so good. Don't ever choose anything less than that, right? Choose that musicality, that artistry every time. One more time. I promise I won't stop you this time. If you promise to be that amazing. 1 and 2. Sopranos, it's okay, but you made that mistake before. They need to sing and here. Sopranos. So there's like 1 or 2 sopranos just jumping the gun 1 beat early. You cool? It's all good. You guys are still working on it. It's fine. But I just want you to, like, I'm a visual person, so if, like, I'm going to continue making the same mistake until I actually see it one last time. So, and since you're not looking at music, night in June, here, and let the other 3 voices sing here, and then you're good. One more time. One and breath. Altos and sopranos. La, tenors and basses on sol. Ready, soprano, alto, 1 and beneath the starry sky so bright. melody. Good. And then this, if he hates this, you'll change it back. But I love how light tenors you are on the da-do. But I think I would love more of a baritone color. Where are the tenors?
Okay, yep.
A little bit more of a baritone.
Let's do it.
No, hold on though, you didn't let me finish. So I still want the lightness on the top notes, but I want baritone color on the low E, so that we hear it. Because right now I hear this. And what I would love to hear is just a little bit more in the low sounds. Cool? Basses, sopranos now, as you start on O on beat 2, basses come in on 3, and then tenors come in. Here it goes. S-A, and here's O. Hit bass. Hit tenors. Cool. Now, that, can we have 50, split the difference between what you used to do, which was light all the time, and I would say that was like 80% chest and 20%, like 80%, can it be like 50-50? You were doing like 90% head voice before and only 10% chest, 90-10, and now and then you flipped it and did like all 80 to 90% chest now. What if it were 50-50? Instead of oh, which is going to sort of be noticeable to the audience that you're flipping voices, but what if it were oh, there's a little bit of agony and pain and sadness in that, of like thinking about this goodbye, this pain and sorrow, this lost love, right? Can you start one more time? Altos and sopranos first. 1. Bass, tenors. This guy did. Oh, cool. Right. Basic tenor. It's okay. You're not going to offend me. It's his piece. Level of like, literally being like, you're currently at 80% chest and 20% head, and I'd love it to be like more 50. Like, take 30% out of the chest of that, or vice versa. Like, I can do that with my college kids. But most high schools, we're like, that's not in tune. This vowel is not. Like, your vowels are fabulous. The intonation is stunning, right? Like, this is really not fine tuning, right? And so, just you're already squeezing what you think is every drop out of the wet towel. But then I came back and picked it up and was like, yeah, but there are these 3 last drops. And you're like, that was basically dry. And you were right. But there were 3 more drops of artistry that we could squeeze out of it. And that's what we're finding, right?
Yeah.
This is really small stuff, but it's gorgeous. Right there, so we're going to do this top of the page one more time. Bend your knees because I know it's hot in here. When we get to the bottom, it says più mosso, which is just a little bit more motion, and I love it to speed up just a little bit more, just to try it. And again, if he thinks it's too much, which he might, that's okay too. I'm not right. I'm just trying to experiment with it so it kind of moves a little bit more. One last time, pick up to page 8, which is the C sharp one. Oh, treble voices, and then basses come in. 1. Bass, tenors. Eyes up here, I'm going to move just a little faster. Dynamic he writes in the whole piece. There are other times that he writes double P, but I don't think he ever writes triple P. I don't think. Let me prove my own self wrong. That's, yes, there's another double P, but there are only 2 double Ps in the whole piece, and that's one of them. So, like, can the audience go like this? Are they still singing? These woods, their weary wanderers soon. Ready? I'll just go first. 1. And then can it, oh, that's really soft, that's really good, but can you make sure that it doesn't sound like I we?
That's
Enjoy. I have to hear the Don't overdo it, but we have to hear the Here is swoon. Ready? Right on swoon. Swoon. True or false? When we join on a unison, naturally the choir is going to be louder.
Yes.
When we all agree on a note, that's going to always sound louder than when we're in 4 parts. So you have to sing even softer there to really get to a true piano. Last little nuance, and then we can move to something else. Is it possible that your face could change just ever so subtly when you say weep versus joy? I weep with joy. Here we go. I weep with joy. Good. Can you take your hand with me and hand me the most gentle flower. And if you bump it too hard, all of the petals will fall right off. Ready? Here's I. You're going to hand me the flower right when you sing I, and you sing O. Good. 2 people murdered that flower. Did you hear that?
Yes.
They went, oh, and they farted right on it. It was so gross. And guess what? If you absolutely can't sing that B natural, super duper, and it's a B against a C sharp, right? If you can't sing that note super duper soft, somebody else has got you. You're fine. If I ever stick out my tongue in a choir, it's because I hear at least 1 to 5 people polluting the vowel with their tongue. Everybody say that with me, soul. Soul. If you had to describe to somebody who's never had a tongue in their mouth before, if you had to describe to somebody who's never had a tongue of their own, was that a mistake or did I do that on purpose? If you were to describe to somebody who's never had their own tongue, what's happening to create the vowel pollution on the word soul? Yeah, your tongue is doing naughty things to the roof of your mouth. Say with me, soul. Say with me, soul. Soul. Good. We have a voice teacher here who says the tongue's job is to be, in singing, is to be wall-to-wall carpeting. It's not allowed to do stuff to the ceiling. It's not allowed to curl up on the sides. You've probably had some flooding in your house if your carpet is doing this on the edges, right? Say with me, so. 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 If even 1 person lets their tongue do this on the word soul, we have vowel pollution.
Soul.
And anytime we have vowel pollution, a choral director dies. anytime a singer pollutes a vowel, a choir director dies. I said this as an honor choir once, and some smart aleck of course it was a tenor, I'm a tenor. Some smart aleck little like 9th or 10th grade tenor goes, do we get to choose which choir director? I was like, no, sit down. But when you get to soul, can you make sure, let's actually be silly for a second. Can you just do my soul, my soul, my soul, top of 11, and then when you get to the big chord at fortissimo, can you stick out your tongue at me while you sing soul? Just to confirm that the vowel is good. Here we go, big things, ready? Add. But you know what? The vowel was better. What? By the way, just a quick nerdy observation. There are 5 consonants that are the worst vowel polluters. They're called. Do you know them?
O-A-E-I.
She's very talented, but doesn't know consonants versus vowels. We're gonna fail her back down to 9th grade because she stays in choir. L, M, N, R, and S. They're called the lemoners. L, M, N, R, S. Right? L and R are the worst. Say, Lord. Lord. The worst word in the world is world to sing. Say with me, world. World. Right? Your tongue's doing craziness for the R, American R, and the L, right? So, can you think as much relaxed tongue? Obviously, you can't stick out your tongue in that moment, but my soul. And then the tongue just does this at the very end to just release the consonant, right? But we don't want my soul. You can hear when my tongue moves, right? My soul. You can hear it going up to the roof and knocking on the door and saying, but I want to pollute. Can I come in? Here is basses. My soul. Ready, bass. My soul, my soul, my soul, my soul, my singing soul. Word stress. Tenor bass word stress. Come sing with me. I'm not going to leave you because it's so good. Can you linger on the M more? Right now, it's gorgeous. You have just done such good work of elongating vowels for the full length. But now I just want the consonants added back in. So say with me, come sing. Come sing. Come. Here's you. Gorgeous. Come sing with me. As opposed to come sing with me. I think I believe you more if you say, may I take your hands not in marriage? Come sing with me. It's just more believable. The last thing I'll say, Mr. K showed it really beautifully, just absolutely beautifully. Remember not to oversing as you finish the big fortissimo soul. Who takes over the melody there while the sopranos hold like long notes?
Basses.
Actually, the altos at first. So we're singing soul, my singing soul, and then my singing soul it cries to thee. The altos have this moment there that everybody else is just holding stuff. You're just holding long notes. So just make sure that you don't oversing so that you can't hear them. Altos, would you start by yourself at top of 12? My singing soul. And then everybody else come in after they finish that. Just so you're hearing this in your head. Altos, go. My singing soul is crying. Everybody else in sopranos, take it. Everybody's doing. Good, now here you're going to give me the M. Come sing with me. Come sing with me. Tenor bass text stress. The twinkling sky casts forth its tune. You've already done the hard work of keeping the vowels really tall and beautiful and unified, and pushing consonants to the far stretches of the vowel so that you like clean out the cobwebs of the vowel and you just get the beauty of the vowel. But now you can add the nuance and the beauty of the consonants and the drama of the consonants back in and taste those. And then number two, if you just keep doing that syllabic stress and trusting your own artistry more, oh god, that piece will go from beautiful, superior performance to like truly exceptionally moving art, right, at the highest level. Is there one more piece you could sing for me?
Elijah.
We should.
I'm sorry I spent so much time on that. This is so beautiful.
There's so much momentum with what Dr. Benson has done with us. I don't want us to even forget that. So this is a chance to cement what you've just gone through. And by the way, no, I think we are so aligned. Maybe these words may never go that fast. Okay, so that's one.
Sure,
thing.
sure, yeah.
But everything else is like, yeah, and so it makes me sad that, you know, you're not in my area and I can't use you more with my choirs. And that's what I feel like I wish, and we've been trying to get our choirs together for years. So since 2018.
19 or 18, yeah.
Whoa. Finally, I'm able to do that. And so now I see that, wow, what I've been missing and what my choirs have been missing.
Well, thanks.
You're working with
Well,
them, so
it's an honor to
give
work with
him-
you guys.
I think he's gonna, lead us into, what are the takeaways, what you normally do. This is what, can we just solidify, this is what I remember that we did that made it sound so much better. And this is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna remember next time we sing, but the takeaways, what are the things you learn and want to take with us for next time we sing? Let's just do that.
Yeah, and maybe can I ask you, because you all are so good, can I ask you to go one step further? Instead of just the takeaways from this piece, like how can you apply this to, ideally, it makes our job way better when y'all are independent, right? When all of our singers are independent. So what's the transfer? Like, how do you take this into the Whitaker Animal Crackers, and how do you take this into like anything and everything else?
I think what you said about not only like the big crescendos or stuff like that, but like breaking it into like smaller pieces would be helpful for like any song.
The consciousness evolution, that bringing that into every single piece, because there are some pieces that we sing where our consonants are polluted.
Great, yeah.
Yeah, I think just mentioning syllabic stress is just really important. I forgot what the words were for it, and I was gonna probably talk about it later with the Chamber 16, just because I thought the same thing. It's just finally someone said what I was thinking. It's just the other thing too with Blossom Moon is that, especially with that song, is and this will be on the test. Remember this vocab word. It's iambic. So every other syllable gets a stress, basically. And if you read Shakespeare, it happens all the time. Iambic pentameter, but that a lot of music uses iambic syllabic stress, and I think it's just really important to actually do that.
Yeah.
Yeah, Bodie.
Well
Yeah,
said.
yeah, Bodie.
And I'll just add to that, he uses a lot of alliteration, right? Remind me who the poet is in that, do you remember?
Bodie.
the poet of that Daniel Elder sets that text, but I don't remember who the text is written by, does it say?
I think it's him, because it just
Is it?
says Daniel Elder.
Oh, words and music by, wow,
Yeah.
okay.
Wow.
So he wrote that text.
Double
So
select.
he sets his own text, because he wrote it, pretty darn well, right? And he uses a lot of alliteration, right? So the idea of wandering, what is it?
Moonlit nights I wander free.
Say it again.
On moonlit nights I wander free.
I wander, cool. Moonlit nights I wander free, but there's no alliteration in that one. Is there another one? Weary water.
Wander.
I wander weary. Yeah, that's in a moment of the same concept.
Soon and all.
Those are consonants.
Well, remember what's alliteration? Alliteration is the same consonant sound in multiple words in a row, right? So weary wanderer, that's alliteration, right? Singing souls, that's alliteration. And he sometimes does a few, I think there are a few times where it's 3 words in a row.
So soon!
So soon. Right? So bringing out the alliteration too, because the idea of that poetry sort of feeling in that strong week, that's beautiful. Other thoughts, other things that,
Remembering to be like intentional on like every word that we sing, not
Yeah.
just like the ones that were loud on there. Words
Great.
that,
We're just handing you the most delicate little flower. I feel like a lot of the times we tend to like just punch our entrances instead of like, oh yeah, nectar.
Can I share really one more quick little story about that, and then I'll get your comment. There's a research study. I find this so fascinating. There's a research study. It was with trumpet players, but I think it really works for singers too. They took a beginner trumpet player, or like a very mediocre amateur, like a no offense, but like an 8th grader that's maybe even playing a couple of years. But they recorded that 8th grader playing the trumpet on one pitch in the middle of his range. 10 seconds. Ba. Not too loud, not too soft, not too high, not too low. 8th grade kid. Ba. They took a professional trumpet player from the San Francisco Symphony or some, like kick butt professional. Same exact thing. Recorded 10 seconds of that note. Research study. Took smart, educated musicians like everybody in this room. Blind taste test, essentially. Which one's the pro and which one's the amateur? Here are the 10 seconds. Right next to each other. Pretty much all the time, everybody knew right away. You're not shocked by this information, I would guess. They did the same study again. They lopped off the first 2 seconds of the pitch and the last 2 seconds of the pitch. 6 seconds of the pitch are left, but just the middle. There's no start and there's no stop. There's no onset. There's no punching it instead of gentle flower. Guess what?
They couldn't tell.
You couldn't tell the difference. Professional people with good ears, like all of us, could not tell the difference between a professional and an amateur. What does that say about how important the start and end of a note is? It's the most important, is what it says to me. The way we finish. Or, oh. Well, by the time we get to the center of the pitch, every choir sounds pretty good. Oh. But if we all are fuzzy-wuzzy at the start of it, so that's, to me, that's like a huge, huge takeaway for all music, for everything we do. And how does that start? It starts with breath, right? Yeah.
Accenting words the way that we speak them.
Yes. Can it be, singing is abnormal and very different from speech, but we shouldn't let the audience know that it's abnormal. It should sound speech-like, even though it's more beautiful. Yeah, excellent.
I liked your phrase within a phrase idea that you started with. How it's there's a big phrase, but then there's the smaller. I like that idea.
The micro phrasing within the macro
Yes,
phrasing.
micro
Yeah,
and macro.
I love it. Yeah. Yeah.
Kind of like that, don't make a phrase boring, don't let it be boring, because, altos especially, like, you have the same note every single time.
Yeah.
And just, like, making sure that we can add dynamics and, like, texture to our sound, and just, like, using that.
Beautiful. Yeah. And I would say that the worst thing that you could ever say, you could call me dumb or ugly, or you could say I hate your haircut, or Benson, what are you doing with that fake blonde in your hair? By the way, this crappy blonde is still left over. Every year my grad students and I, we dress up for Halloween and we don't tell anybody that what we're doing. And I dressed up as Ken, my colleague was Barbie, and then my grad students were all various Kens and Barbies. And we were supposed to do wigs, and then I surprised them the morning of Halloween and showed up with bleached this hair. This is Benson's Halloween. But all that to say, you can tell me lots of mean things, but the worst thing that you could ever call me, this is my opinion, you don't have to agree, is boring. If somebody thinks I'm boring, then to me, like being interesting and kind and loving and a bunch of things is more important than almost anything I think in life. I want to be interesting and I want to have a contribution. And I'm not talking about like with you all, but like with my close friends, with my partner, with my everybody in my life, right? My parents, my siblings. I want them to feel like I am a part of something. And so I wonder, in music, is there ever an opportunity, ever, to be boring? And I hope the answer is no. Because if an adjudicator or an audience finds my performance boring, I think I've lost. Not that it's a win or lose game, but you know what I mean, right? So thank you for sharing that, because that this idea of not being boring is like, I think it relates to humanity. None of us we all want to have, interesting lives. And I wish that for all of you. More importantly than I wish you, beautiful singing your whole life. But more importantly, I wish you beautiful lives, interesting lives. With one more, yeah.
It's more of a question. How do we become so like when we're in unison or just like at an end of phrase? How do we keep like just being so quiet? Like, how do we do that? 'Cause I know that like if we go back to the choir room and we practice, we're not all gonna be so
Sure.
quiet.
I think quiet singing is some of the hardest stuff we do. I think average to good choirs can sound great at forte, but only the best choirs can truly, truly, truly capture like a pianissimo or a triple P beautifully. And I'll tell you, there's no secret. It's just hard work and lots and lots and lots and lots of breath, energy, and practice. And just really, really, it's drilling. It's doing it over and over again, and staying engaged on your breath as much as possible. And it's hard. But you guys you're already there. You're already doing that most of the time. Part of it's just remembering when those moments are of. And the cool thing about choral music is that not everybody has to sing those moments too, right? I tell my sopranos on those moments, those exposed little like everybody's in unison on a B natural on the word the. You can all do that. Whatever. But when it's like a high note and you have to be soft, there are some soprano voices that can do that, and some just are built never to do that. They can sing a high A loud, and that's it. And there are professionals who do that too, right? Like that's okay. And I have an adult community group right up the road in Palo Alto, and some of those ladies are kick butt. They're so good. But I'll look at some of them and I sort of smile and be like, "This is not your note, girl." Right? I need this to be piano on a high G sharp. And a couple of my sopranos will be like, "Yep, that's not me," and like point to whoever's going to do it instead, right? So also knowing your voice and what you contribute, and when to sort of say, "Okay, these two notes I'm just not going to sing." That's okay too. I mean, I don't want to do that very often, but every once in a while I think that's okay too. Yeah. I have to go teach a graduate class in choral literature right now, so I should probably sneak off. But I want to say congratulations. Really, really beautiful artistry today. I'm so grateful that I got to meet you today. So yeah, thank you. Bravo. Oh, hi. This is my colleague, Dr. Brown, who teaches a couple of the other choirs. This is you missed a phenomenal group today.
I heard
they are really
about
good.
your performance, and I'm sad that I wasn't able to be in rehearsal. I was clinicking another choir over near here. So congratulations and welcome. Yeah, I do summer choirs, and I've heard good things about you. So I'm glad you were able to be here and work with my colleague.
And I'll just say, you guys are visiting from afar, so I'm not going to give you I also don't have time, but I'm going to leave Mr. Karn with just a little bit of information about SJSU. There's no pressure, but if any of you were looking at music schools and or looking for out of state, let us know, and he has my email, so you're welcome to reach out. But mostly just enjoy the rest of your time with Mr. Karn and just cherish every moment of these last, what do you have, like a month left or so?
Don't even say that.
Month and a half. Yeah. Thank you guys. Congratulations.